Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan on Thursday welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky with an honor guard at the presidential palace in Ankara, ahead of planned Russia-Ukraine peace talks. According to Associated Press, Russian President Vladimir Putin didn't show up in Turkey for proposed direct talks with Zelensky, who was waiting for him in the capital Ankara after challenging the Kremlin leader to face-to-face discussions on ending their three-year-old war. With Putin absent, the Russian delegation was in Istanbul, and it wasn't clear whether the sides would meet for their first such talks since March 2022, following Russia's full-scale invasion of its neighbor the previous month. Zelensky said the Russian delegation appeared to be merely decorative. The war has killed tens of thousands of soldiers on both sides and more than 12,000 Ukrainian civilians, according to the UN, and continues along the roughly 1,000-kilometer front line. Russian forces are preparing a fresh military offensive, Ukrainian government and Western military analysts say.
How are you? Thank you. How are you? Good.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Thursday accused Russia of sending a decorative-level delegation to peace talks in Turkey. According to Associated Press, he said Ukraine's delegation was made up of the most senior officials to take any decisions that might lead to the expected and just peace. He was speaking at Ankara airport shortly after his arrival for talks with Turkey's president. Peace talks between Ukrainian and Russian delegations are scheduled to start in Ankara on Thursday. Zelensky has said he's willing to talk face-to-face with President Vladimir Putin. The Russian leader, however, is not expected to attend the talks, and neither is his foreign minister.
Just one. Доброго дня, вітаю.
Mikrofon olan var mı? Which one? This one.
Багається у нас на найвищому рівні Міністерство закордонних справ, мій офіс, військові, наші розвідки, представники всіх розвідок, до речі. І для того, щоб приймати будь-які рішення, які можуть привести до очікуваного справедливого миру. Що стосується високого рівня зустрічі, ми почнемо з зустрічі з президентом Ердоганом, з усією широкою делегацією Туреччини. Ми в контакті з американською стороною, а вони, думаю, також будуть в Туреччині на високому рівні. Подивимось, але рівень русських поки що мені офіційно невідомий, але із того, що ми бачимо, більше схоже на бутафорський рівень. Ми подумаємо, що будемо робити, які будуть наші кроки після розмови з президентом Ердоганом. Я думаю, у нас буде кілька годин для важливої розмови, дуже важливих рішень. Ми повинні розуміти, що за рівень російської делегації, який у них мандат, чи спроможні вони хоч щось самі приймати. Тому що нам всім відомо, хто в Росії приймає рішення.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy landed in Turkey on Thursday, after he challenged Russian President Vladimir Putin over the weekend to meet him personally. According to Associated Press, Zelensky said that he still hopes for a ceasefire with Russia starting Monday, and that he will be waiting for Putin in Turkey personally after US President Donald Trump insisted Ukraine accept Russia's latest offer to hold direct talks in Turkey on Thursday. Ukraine, along with European allies, had demanded Russia accept an unconditional 30-day ceasefire starting Monday before holding talks, but Moscow effectively rejected the proposal and called for direct negotiations instead. It was not clear if Zelensky was conditioning his presence in Turkey on the Monday ceasefire holding, and there was no immediate comment from the Kremlin on whether Putin would go. In 2022, the war's early months, Zelensky repeatedly called for a personal meeting with the Russian president but was rebuffed, and eventually enacted a decree declaring that holding negotiations with Putin had become impossible. We await a full and lasting ceasefire, starting from tomorrow, to provide the necessary basis for diplomacy. There is no point in prolonging the killings. And I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday. Personally, I hope that this time the Russians will not look for excuses, Zelensky wrote on X on Sunday.
Bucha! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122 Включил? Там есть? Есть? Я всегда слышу.